This is a 1973 Super Beetle, and I'm going to show you guys how to change the brakes. First thing we'll have to do is get off this cap. If you were doing the other side, this is the passenger side. The driver's side has a little E-clip that you'd pull off here, and what that's for is the speedometer. So you just pull that E-clip off before you start prying this off, and so you can use a screwdriver or a chisel. I like to start with a chisel. Wait, I want to use my I don't want to use my good chisel. I don't know if it's gonna work. Maybe tapping it with a hammer. There we go. Now, maybe I can get a screwdriver in there. Skinnier screwdriver. Ah! There we go, we got that off. Now you will need a Allen wrench. Allen wrench to loosen this. And then this should come off with your finger. I need a clean spot to lay these parts out. So I'm putting a napkin down. You wanna like put them back on how you got them off. So you want this side to screw back on. If you notice, this side kind of bulges out a little bit. This side's more flat. This bulgy end wants to go on that way. Do not try to put this on the other side, because the other side has reverse threads. This one is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. The other one's the opposite. And keep that in mind. And for the back, I haven't done the back brakes on this yet, but I'm sure they're the same. Okay, so you take that off, and next thing is this washer. Now, I've only already done this once and cleaned them, so I'm not gonna clean everything again, because everything's very clean right now. The reason why I did this, and I noticed a crack it's actually right here. I'm sure you guys can't see it on the video, but there's a tiny little crack. So I ordered a new brake drum, and I just got that in today. So I'm gonna wipe this off. Now, the way these came is there's this little W symbol right there, and that W symbol goes in this way. And also there's a little groove right here. So, yeah, this W goes that way. And then this other side, it's more rounded, and this is facing out. This other side seems flatter. That's facing towards the bearing. Always use clean rags when you're touching stuff with the bearings, because you're going to want to clean them, and or I don't know, if the bearings are okay, then like if they've been done recently, then just be very careful. But I'd suggest, if you don't know when the bearings have been serviced, you should also grease the bearings. The first time you grease them, you're going to use well, if you don't know what the previous person used, you want to clean them very good. And then from there out, just use the same bearing grease, and then you can just add grease to them instead of, like, repack them instead of completely cleaning them. So now this should pull out, and this bearing might pop out. So keep that in mind. And it looks like, oh man, I just noticed this. There's a little dent on this bearing. So it's a good thing that I got new bearings for this. The race has a little dent there. I don't know if I did that when I took it out or someone else did, but yeah, that should probably be replaced anyway. So carefully pull this out. I guess I sit that down so it doesn't fall. All right, and that came off pretty easy. Let me put this bearing back in so I don't lose it. We'll set that aside there. Now, to get this grease off. This is all new grease, so I'm not cleaning anything. I haven't driven this since I've put it on. When you do it, it's going to be dirty, so use brake cleaner. I don't know if I'd touch brake cleaner on those rubber parts here. Keep in mind that this car is from 1973 when they used asbestos brakes, so if you've never serviced the brakes, it could be possible has the original asbestos brakes, so keep that in mind. In that case, you'd want to, you don't want any dust. Maybe spray it down with water and wipe it with a mist it with like a water bottle, wipe it down with a towel, wear a mask, and then do the brake cleaner thing after, because you don't want any of that powder getting on you. So, okay, I'd suggest getting these tools from Harbor Freight. You don't need high quality ones because you're not a everyday mechanic. So these are quite helpful, and they're probably like $10 or something. If not, you can use a pair of needle nose pliers, which is good too. Where are my needle nose pliers? I thought I had them here. Ah, there. Yes. Needle nose pliers or something like that. Now, let's. Can you see this video? Oh man. So this spring is on the lower thing. Let me bring this closer. Okay, so this spring is on the lower circle thing, not the higher one on both sides, right? So let's keep that in mind. Let's keep in mind all this orientation. These springs go into this middle thing, not this up here. So yeah, let's keep that in mind when we're taking this stuff apart. And yeah, let's do it. So, you want to push your hand behind here. The other end is behind, and you push your finger on that. You push this down. Oh, it just broke. What a piece of junk. I guess I'll use the other end. Push this down, and maybe don't buy the tool from Harbor Freight, okay? Okay, I got that one off. Let me take this pin out and show you. See this pin? So this goes behind, and this goes in here. So this pin comes through. There's this little locking thing right here. Little locking thing. So, oh man, that fell off. There's this locking thing. This goes through and then twists, and that's what locks it. To get it out, you want to push it down, twist it, and then it comes out. That's how that works, right? And I probably should have taken that off last, actually. So it made my life a little bit more difficult. Let's get this off. No, it's... Sometimes these special tools just don't work. And I'll just use a needle nose, maybe. Good idea to wear safety glasses, because this stuff can hit you in the eye. guys can see what I'm doing. Maybe I'll adjust this a bit more. Oh, there we go. Got that one off. Get this off. This might be needed for this one. Yeah, brakes are just kind of like this. They're just a pain in the butt, you know? There we go. I got it off that way. Now, whatever you got to do, right? Oh, now I can take off this other part. I'm using the one that's too small, but if you can see, this is the one that you're supposed to use. You put it in like that, this grabs it and you twist it, but this is like just fair, I don't know, it's slightly too big, so I'm using the one that's too small. Normally you twist it, but let's see if I can use the bigger one. Twist it. Okay, it's gonna work on this one. There we go. Now, because these are new, you want to adjust these all the way in. And you want to make sure that there's like a little, there's a little angle on it. I don't know if you could see that. So the angle is like, it's like this inside here. So you want to make sure that this angle is angled up. At least that's how they came off. So that's how I'm putting them back on. You don't want to angle it the wrong way. So it's both of these are angled like that. This top one seems to be flat. So yeah, adjust those in. While we have this on, let's look at this tool, and once the drum is on, you might have to adjust these out, adjust the brake shoes out, so it'll give you a little bit of drag, and you'll put this tool through this hole back here, and let me bring this up. So you bring this tool through, bringing it through the back there, and you're turning this up or down. Let me give you a side angle. So there, it goes through here, see, and you're adjusting this up or down. And if you look on the bottom, there's this little thing you can pull down when you're adjusting it a lot. It kind of keeps it in place after you've adjusted it. So let's see. which way do we go to tighten it? Well, hold on. I'm gonna set this down. We'll see. There we go. See which way this thread is. So, okay. So yeah, you're going this way. Can you see it? You're going this way to adjust it out. This way to adjust it back in. So to adjust it out, you'd basically push this down and push it up to adjust it out, like that. That's going to adjust it out. And then to adjust it in, you'd go this way. And then, is it the same way on this one? This one, it looks like it's the opposite. This one, you'd go like that. Yeah, so this one, you go like that. This one, you go the opposite way. Let me adjust these back in. Okay. So that'll help in case you're trying to adjust it and you don't have it apart, so you'll know which way to adjust it. So at this point you would, oh wait, let's see, we need the brakes. Where are my brakes at? Right there. Let me give you a different angle now so we can get on to these brakes. You want to make sure you don't have any grease on your hands, so I'm going to wipe off my hands really good, and you don't want any grease on these pads at all. If you get grease on the pads, then it'll warp your brakes because it'll get hot in that spot. So first we'll put this middle thing in because that seems to be the easiest way. And oops, get the spring and then this thing. And my special tool. Oh, that doesn't work well. Yeah, I guess maybe not. Harbor Freight. Sometimes you can push it down with your hand or a pair of pliers. You get it like that. That's real hard. Now I'll use the small part of the tool. Like someone's falling over there. It pushes down, but it doesn't twist. Yeah, this tool, man, not working out too well. I normally edit stuff like this out on my videos, but I'm moving, so my computer's not set up, and I don't have time to edit. So you can just fast forward if you get bored, right? Yeah. There we go. The old school pliers. Let's see if I can do it with this tool the way you're supposed to. I think you go like that. There we go. Or you use the pliers. The other one. Oh yeah. I'll probably put a little bit more lubricant on these. So you can use lubricant, but you want I'm using ceramic lubricant with silicone, special for brake parts. What this is, Permatex. Don't just use any lubricant, because this is high temperature, so you don't want something that's going to melt and go into your brake. If you get grease on your brake drum, then it's going to warp your brakes. So then you'll have to do this all over. It'll pulsate when you put on the brakes. Never do that. So I only already put some on before, so I'm just going to put a little bit more, a little dab. And you don't have to put this on. I did put it on in here. I guess you wouldn't have to do that necessarily. I didn't put it on here because I don't want it touching this rubber and messing it up. You don't have to put lube on. It's just nice. Look at that. I did that spring by hand. Now there's the long spring right here. And then remember, it goes on the bottom one. Now this would probably come in handy. Put it there. All right, that went nicely. Finally, this tool helps. And I put it in the wrong one. Look at that, I put it in the higher hole. Okay, so I'll pop that back off real quick. Wait, I need to get this thing on. I forgot to put the spring on, so it's kind of being difficult. Let's put the spring on the middle of here. That's the first thing you should do. It makes this much easier. And then, where's that tool at? I think the tool will work on this one. Tool's just not quite small enough. It's not gonna work. So the old-fashioned way. All right, got that one. Now we get the big spring on. And yeah, I think that's all. The brakes are on. All right. Now I'll put the new drum on. Oh, but before I do, I need to take off the old what is it called, the grease cap or whatever. This right here keeps all the grease in. You want to replace this when you do these, and you also want to pop these bearings out. This just comes out, the other bearing comes out. You want to grease those. So it should come out with a screwdriver now. Let's see, got to be careful with these. I'm gonna use this. It's a chisel. I like this because it gets under there. Oh man, hope I don't mess this thing up. Maybe I need a razor blade, which I had. I thought maybe a screwdriver. Please don't mess up. I don't want to mess this up and have to order another one. That'd be horrible. Okay. And you want to be careful not to mar up this metal, you know. Okay, looks good. Now I got my new brake drum that I've installed bearings into. And I'm sure taking like you could pop the middle of the bearing out, but then there's this ring in there for that specific bearing that you'd have to pop out, and that's a pain in the butt. Getting it in there's a pain in the butt too. Anyways, so it's always good to service your bearings so you don't have to get that ring out. Let's pop this in there. Clean it a little bit. You don't want any grease on the inside of your brake drum. Clean off my hammer. I got this rubber mallet, or you can use like something flat. Now we'll get a clean rag and I'll wipe it. If any grease is in here, that would be horrible. You don't want any grease at all. Because then you'd have to get your drum machined. Oh, I got a little bit of grease right there. When you get new brake drums like this, it comes with oil all over it, and you cannot have that oil on it. So you have to clean the oil off of this surface right here. I used acetone. You don't have to clean it off everything, just the surface where the pads are going to hit. And it has to be so clean, and my hands were so greasy that I put this tape around so I would not get grease on it like I did, which the tape protected it from getting greasy. And now, since I'm putting it on, I can take this tape off, have a brand new machine surface right here. All right. And now I can put this on. something I just realized I forgot to mention. So when you're taking your brake off, you might have trouble. Let me adjust this. You might have trouble pulling it out, and this would happen if the brakes have worn into the rotor, and sometimes there's like a little groove in the rotor. Like if the pads have worn this out, there's a little groove on the edge, and the pads are getting stuck on it. And in that case, you'd have to adjust it back here to those things that adjust out. You'd have to adjust that with this tool. Where was that tool at? Oh, I lost the tool. Or you could use a flathead screwdriver, right? You know, you go back here like I was doing. You'd have to adjust that in so you'd be able to pull this out easier. And now, since I got that in, the next thing is, I got messy. This washer again, and we're gonna put it on exactly as it came off, which was with this emblem, with the flat side going towards the inside. There's a little, you notice that little spot right there? You want to line that up with a groove. Stick that in there. And we got this special nut with this cool Allen on it. Make sure you don't mix this up with the other side or it won't go on. You'll spin forever because the thread is reversed. There's a flat side of it, and then there's a side that's kind of pushed out a little bit. This pushed out side is the part that screws on, that goes that way. And put it on. Now this, you do not want to tighten this hard. Like you don't want to use a wrench to tighten it or something. First I'll get it snug to seat, kind of seat everything. You can hear that air pushing out. But then after I get everything pushed in, then I will loosen it a little bit because this is supposed to be loosened. You hear this drag? You want that a little bit, and actually it needs a little bit more drag than that. This is too freewheeling it here. So I'm gonna have to adjust these to come out a little bit so you want to be able to turn it, but you want a little bit of drag. At least that's what they say, you know. That's what the experts say. Normally I have self-adjusting brakes, but not on this. Alright, where's my Allen wrench at? There's that other tool I was looking for in my razor blade. Just a little bit. There's this washer here, and I like to see that it's got the lock thing on it, but I like to see it that it moves just a little bit. It can, like, let me show you. I don't know if you could see that. See how it kind of moves a little bit? It's showing that it's not super tight. You basically tighten it all the way with your hand and then back off just a little bit, and you don't want to be able to feel it moving back and forth. You want it tight, but you don't want it too tight. So yeah, that's like all the way tight, and then loosen it. I don't know about there. Now we'll tighten it. Now it's time to put the cap on. Where is my cap? I got a new one because they're super cheap. The old one looked horrible. I don't know. Should I put grease on this? I'm not sure if you're supposed to put grease on these. I don't know why it would hurt. I'm gonna put grease on this so it has a nice, so it slides in there nice, you know, and they'll come out nice. I'm gonna put a little bit more grease on it than that. If I can find my grease gun. There it is. I don't know if you're supposed to do it. I'm doing it. Putting a little bit of grease on here, so it'll come out easy. See if I can get it in with this. Oops, it's all kind of crooked. Ah. There's a seat on it that you can see. You see that? That little seat. You want to get it down to there. I mean, most people just hit it with a hammer, but I don't like this looking ugly. So yes, I think the grease was a very good idea, putting grease on this. And you can reuse these, by the way. Not only does it completely seal the water out, but it gives you a little extra protection in case for some reason that loosens. And then if that loosened, then it wouldn't come out all the way because of this, right? If that nut loosened. So, almost done. I feel like there should be just a little bit more drag on there. So I'm going to have to what did I say to have it come out? I have to remember. I think I went that way, and then I think it was the opposite on this side. I hope. I may have to look at the video to remember. It's not working. Where is that hole at? Oh, these lights are blinding me. Okay, so I was going like that. That's tightening it. I'll go the opposite on this one. This side's hard. Oh, but it's doing it right. Oh yeah. I think that's about what you want. I mean, I'm no expert. And it could go even a little bit tighter if you want, but I think I'm gonna try that and adjust later if I need it more. Basically, your foot's gonna you're gonna push down more if it's too loose. The tighter you have it, the less you gotta push on the brakes. So I guess you could adjust it differently for the front and the back, depending on which one you want to grab first. I would think that you'd want the back slightly tighter because that's where the engine, or that's where it's heavier. I don't know. But anyways, that's the video. I think that's all you need to know, and now you know what you're getting into if you're doing the front brakes. Now the back brakes is a lot more difficult. I'd almost suggest going to someone to do the back ones, because you do have to get some special tools. You got to get a big old wrench for that, you know, or a big old socket wrench. And basically, let me bring you over there real quick. I have junk in the way. My car is taking up my entire garage, basically. So, to undo the back one, there's this cotter pin. And then you need a big old socket wrench to take that out, right? And you're going to need a lot of leverage. And remember, the threads are the opposite. I think this one's righty-tighty and the other one would be the opposite. I haven't done these yet, but I'm assuming. So after you do that, you take this nut off first. Then you undo the tire. You take the tire off. Because you're going to need this drag of the tire in the car. You're going to need it not lifted up. So you got something giving you resistance, you know, when you take this nut off. Now, once you get that off, then you need like a steering wheel puller. And the middle goes in here, and then it has some different things here that screw into where these are. And you tighten it, and that's how that brake drum comes off. And then I'm sure it's probably similar to the front. And I guess there's bearings in there. I haven't done that one yet, but just trying to tell you what you're getting into if you do that back one. I think normally the front ones... Well, on my other cars, I always do the front ones, like, I'll do the front ones twice before I do the back ones, you know. I do the back ones every other time. But I don't know, the Volkswagen can be different because it's the engine's in the back, so maybe the back ones wear faster. I don't know. But anyways, that's the video. I hope this has helped you. I have some other stuff about Volkswagens on my YouTube channel. I'll eventually make a playlist for Volkswagen stuff. I have some different handyman tips and some guitar stuff, how to build guitars, like repair them. Pedals, I have different stuff with effects pedals. Anyways, go check it out. Subscribe if you can. I'm trying to get so many subscribers so that I could be monetized someday. That would be nice. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.